A note to the listener. In this episode, we had some sound difficulties. So really the only thing that you're going to hear is my voice. But I think the storyline is still intact, and I think the episode will still make sense. Hopefully my voice is not that annoying to you. Enjoy.
The world is old and the powers are weary. The god at the door of night has fallen, and the great enemy of the world has come back from the timeless void. The shadow has awakened the great evils to regain dominion over Eärendil. Darkness shall cover the land, if not with the deeds of a small fellowship of elf friends. Join the players of this Dungeons & Dragons campaign as they fulfill the events of the Dagor prophecy and strive with Morgoth on the plains of Valinor. Welcome to the Undying Lands in Part 3 of the Inglorion Bastards trilogy, Trials of the Valar.
All right, Tessero's appearing first, so go ahead, Tessero. So let me show you what he looks like. Sorry, he looks like this, and he appears inside of his body. It's almost like starlight. It's like you're looking into, like, at the night sky. Eärendil is not moving, not breathing, and is pretty pulverized. Yeah, actually, you don't go first, my friend. I'm sorry. So, everyone, I need you to make. Let's see. It's okay. So it's a 90-foot cube. Yeah, that's everyone. All right. So you guys need to do a. Let's see. So he exhales a 90-foot cube of powerful localized gravity originating from the dragon. Okay, when a creature starts its turn within the area or enters it for the first time in a turn, you must make a DC Dexterity saving throw, DC 24. On a failure, you are restrained. On a success, the creature's speed is halved as long as it remains in the field. A restrained creature repeats the saving throw at the end of its turn. The field persists until the dragon breath recharges, and you can't use this gravity breath twice consecutively. So you take no damage, but everybody needs to do a dexterity DC 24. The restrained creature repeats the saving throw at the end of its turn. The field persists until the dragon breath recharges. So until his next turn, because it recharged. All right. So I guess it's Tessero's turn. So he uses who all failed? Everybody except Tessero and MJ. All right. So as you approach, it takes a tail attack. He crits you. He rolled a 36. So you take 33 damage. Actually, it's bludgeoning damage, so you get to half that. So Eärendil like dashes up, and he's like moving at kind of like half speed. And Ancalagon, you guys all see the tail coming around, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be ugly. But he ducks in behind the dragon helm, and the dragon helm kind of deflects part of it. All right, and now it's Ancalagon's turn. Awesome. Okay, so the first thing that's going to happen is that everyone is going to have to make a wisdom save, DC 22. Let's see. You become frightened for 1 minute. The creature repeats the saving throw at the end of each of your turns. You end the effect on a success. If you fail the saving throw by 5 or more, then you're driven insane. An insane creature is frightened permanently and behaves as if affected by confusion. So any of you that failed by 5 or more, I need you to roll a 1d10. All right, John. On your next turn, you don't move or take actions. You just stand there blinking. No, this is a fear. He didn't actually hit you. All right, so roll a 1d10. Anybody else? I think Charlie, you have to roll a 1d10. Charlie, for you, you also take no actions and you can't move on your turn. Yep, Tessero, same thing. J- John, Tessero, and I'm sorry, Morloman, Tessero, and Burin are all kind of just like dazed by the sheer presence of him. All right, and everybody else is frightened for 1 minute, unless you passed. All right, so and he gets that was just the first thing. He also gets attacks. He gets a bite and 2 claw attacks, which he does on Faradir. So Faradir, he hits you 3 times. You ready for this? Do you want me to add it up for you? All right, you take 85, but it's halved because it's all slashing damage. Oh, it's not all slashing damage. So all right, so you take 48 slashing damage. So you can half that, and then you take 37 cold damage. So Ancalagon. Well, you're the only one there. You ran right up to him. I don't know. I mean, you guys. I've been nice to you lately. So he bites and does 2 claw attacks. All right, Burin. So you gotta save against that aura of madness. Wisdom DC 22. The creature can act and move normally. Oh, that is good. All right, awesome. So we'll say you broke through in that case. So just save against the weird gravity thing. Yeah, it was Dex save. So on a failed save, you are restrained. So you move like half speed. All right, Morloman. Yeah, it counts. So the wisdom was for the aura of madness. So you're out of it. You're not frightened of him anymore. You're not insane anymore. So John, you're also you are restrained though, but that's fine for you. Tessero. Nope. I don't. Let's see. You would save against it to see if you're still frightened. Sure, but you do that at the end of your turn. So go ahead and attack. Those are 2 misses. All right, Faradir. You know it's his turn next, right? I'm just saying there. I would get away from him if I were you. You seem deflated, Marco. Just because you finally have a foe that you guys can't trounce. All right. So you got his attention. So he actually teleports. Yeah, no, so he's up here now. All right. So on his turn, his breath weapon recharged, by the way. I don't know if I declared that. So this field, this gravity field goes away. And Zelindor, Burin, and Morloman. And let me see who else. Faradir, and not Tessero, I don't think. Just out of reach, I think. But let me just double check that. Yeah, it's a 90-foot cone, so everybody except Tessero. All right, so this is called Stellar Flare Breath. Let's see. Everybody in that range needs to make a Dexterity DC 24. Fire damage, yes, the first part of this is fire damage. All right, geez, man, you're going to be the only one standing at this end of this fight. Okay, so for anybody who failed, let's see here. You take 46 fire damage. I'm not done. So that's just the fire damage. So if you have resistance, you take half of that. Burin doesn't take half of it he does because he has fire damage, but he doesn't get additional resistance because of his raging. And I don't think you declared you were raging, by the way. Yeah, and then the other part of this is radiant damage. You take 35 radiant damage, and declaring now it did not recharge. All right, Charlie, that's a fail. John, you're not restrained anymore by the gravity field. Well, what's funny is like Zelindor is like ha 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 ha, and then he turns around and he's right in front of the snout of the dragon, like taking the full brunt of it. But you still saved. I don't know how you saved. All right, Zelindor, it's your turn. You know what? I'll draw a little circle so you can see where the glowing is, or a little square at least. So this area is glowing. and it's under that bottom part of like the hull of the ship. Okay, so you're gonna get a tail attack. All right, you take 22 bludgeoning damage. So he just like pummels you into the ship while you're searching. But so if you're gonna take your action to like try to lift up the boards, then you take okay, so you take the 22 damage, and do an athletics check. All right, so you guys see Zelindor go over and like try to lift the bottom part of the ship, and it's like cracking and stuff, but he's just not strong enough to lift it up. And where did you move? Where did you move to, MJ? Right to the edge, like right to the edge of the part that you tried to lift. All right, go ahead, Charlie. All right, so do a perception, I would guess. It's a pretty low DC on this. And this is like, I think a perception check is kind of like a free thing. All right, yeah, he's not breathing, and looks. You've not seen a whole bunch of elves, but the elves that you've seen recently, his skin color is off, and you would imagine that this is the skin color of a deceased elf. All right, just do an investigation, and then it'll be also really low because there's not that many places to look around. So you see on his hip he has a container that's it's like a deep black, and it's a really thick material. And as you're like looking around, you kind of like peel back the top of it, and this light starts coming out of it. Yeah, I mean, let's see. I think you can. I'll let you open it and like take something out of it. Yeah, for your action. Oh, you got it. It wasn't locked or anything. So he's like looking around, and you guys see him pull out what can only be a Silmaril, the last missing Silmaril. All right. Well, before Morloman goes. Oh, jeez. All right. He's gonna do a tail attack, I guess, unless I want to kill you all. All right. So he'll do as soon as he sees the Silmaril come out, he does a tail attack on Burren, and hits you for 35 bludgeoning damage. So though you don't know the true nature, I don't. A lot of times, like I don't do the whole. What is it called? Not binding a magic item. What is the attunement? Like I don't buy into that whole attunement thing. So I just generally tell you what an item does. But usually it's on a rest, right, where you get a chance to look at an item and really study it. What I will tell you though is that you've held two other Silmarils, and they had something in common. So you would guess that this one would also have that in common. So if you want to look at that, look at the other two Silmarils, and I would let you use that. If there is something in common with all three, I would let you use that power. But you wouldn't know the other stuff. So we can stop here pretty soon. But let's discover at least if they have something in common, or you think they have something in common. And we can do. So the charm thing probably wouldn't work, but Gem of Brightness. So let's do more Loman's turn, and then we can kind of talk about what we want to do next week, as far as finding Aryan, retreating, using this brightness thing, whatever. All right. So we're gonna stop here. We'll do the top of the order next week. You found the last Silmaril. You still haven't found Aryan, although you think there's something down underneath the snow. Some of you are in pretty bad shape, and you finally have met a foe that does a fair amount of damage. So the other thing that you guys need to think about is what's going to happen if you actually kill this thing. That. Yeah, that. I'm glad you guys pay attention when I tell you the backstory. Yeah. No. I'm just giving you a hard time. No one ever pays attention to what, because it's like at the beginning of every session, it's like a 30-minute lecture on Middle Earth history. That's what. So I don't blame you. Would you like to know how much damage he does when he blows up? This power is called Collapsing Star, and anybody within 1 mile Anybody within 1 mile takes this damage. And the roll that I just did was 124 damage. Yeah. So finally, you guys have had a challenging fight. Though this marks the end of the episode, the road goes ever on. Until next time, join us at longwinded.one and consider giving us a review on Apple Music, Spotify, or really whichever platform you choose.